according respectively, and then please have something with you to write. We will talk about your enneagrams as well, something to make the notes on the content, and we will have our group discussion, sharing the insights, which I'm not going obviously to record. That will be just between us. Okay. Cool. You see the full slide, right? Because I have two screens on my laptop. And just wait a second, I will probably drop the message in our cohort. So who is sleeping and doing afternoon siesta? Up, probably could join. Okay, so today we talk about the self-confidence. One of the most important skills in self-leadership, and something that we have to fix before we fly, right? So if you still have doubts in some areas of this character strengths and confidence is not fully there, this is what we're going to fix, or at least learn how to fix today. And I would like to start with something. There was the building block when we started the whole program in the very beginning. And most of you said, look, I'm stuck. I don't know where exactly I'm going, and tried so many different things, so don't know what else can I do. And this is how we try to help with various sessions and the insights we gave you. But the problem is, if the feeling of stuck or being stuck is still there, it's not going to help you building your confidence and bringing you closer to your success. So in the phrase of being stuck, practically, what do we mean? What does it refer for? It's a state of stagnation, being stuck, right? It's a lack of progress that you can observe. It can be applied to various aspects of your life, such as personal growth, decision-making, problem-solving, career strategy, entrepreneurship. And when someone is described as being stuck, it implies that we are facing challenges, obstacles, or lack of momentum in moving forward. And what we want you to do is to move forward, right? You've got a lot of knowledge, and you already had the big baggage of experience and the professional knowledge from your previous jobs and careers, but it's not enough. If the confidence is not there, and if you still feel stuck, the professional experience is not enough and not going to help you, right? There is something else here that you need to boost and to move. So how do you know if you are stuck? Stuckness usually manifests in different ways that are nevertheless interconnected. Stuckness is when you feel something is preventing you from moving forward, or from living the life you're supposed to be living. You feel unable to break through circumstances that you've been placed into, and they hold you down. You feel as if your contributions are not recognized or appreciated by your circle or your professional ambience. And you feel that people around you have no idea what you are capable of. And sometimes even you yourself, you don't have idea what you are capable of. And then you need to open up more of personal capacities. The Enneagram is for that. Personal strengths, and actually get to the point when you get unstuck. Because in order to reach the state of self-confidence, you obviously have to unstuck and to let go of behaviors that are not anymore serving you. You need first of all to recognize it as the habit. right? So this stuckness over the time, when you could not overcome it, it becomes the habit, and it blocks the confidence, and it blocks the way how openly, energetically you can move on. So you need to bring it to the conscious awareness, so you can bring it, try the new responses, new things, new actions that can bring you different results. And remember, the brain is wired to do automatically the things we used to do, we used to know, we used to experience previously, and this all has to change. When it does, when you unstuck and you start boosting your confidence, it literally unleashes the energy and self-leadership, self-confidence, your strengths, and that energy makes it easier to stay in the effort. This is what we are aiming for, right? From the self-leadership, from strengths perspective, to bring you to the constant state of being in the effort mode. So if you recognize that you need to change in order to move ahead, why is changing so hard? Because resistance is a powerful force because of the previous experiences. If you have ever struggled to stay, I don't know, on a diet, incorporate more exercises to boost your physical, some changes in the daily routines, becoming, I don't know, more patient or engaged. It depends on each of you, or just be present for your moments instead of letting your mind constantly rushing ahead. You know what it look like and feel like to battle this demon of resistance. So this is exactly what we are going to do today, and how we are going to make ourselves unstuck. So we will cover the 6 main habits that prevent you from changing your life, and that habits are also blocking your confidence. And I will bring some introduction to that, but also on some of them we will look what does it mean from the perspective of your Enneagram as well. So the first habit that blocks your confidence calls the passing judgment. That means feeling the need to impose your standards on others, as if their job were to live up to your expectations. Your standards are your standards. Your expectations are your expectations. It's not something that relates to other people. And when we judging, we actually impose our own expectations on others, and they have nothing related to that. Passing judgment is often the engine for the kind of gossipy conversations that can make your ambience, your workplace, your life more toxic, and you don't need that. You don't need that energy. And it may feel it's to some extent satisfying, especially for some of the Enneagram types. You can like it, but judgmental conversations waste your time and create negative energy that saps your spirit and can alienate others. Don't do that. Move on. Look at what are the things in front of you? What are the career strategies you placed in front of you? Don't relate to other people as they share your own expectations and your own bar. The bar is yours. So once you release that passing judgment, gossiping, that also diminish you as the leader, since, again, accepting others with their flaws is the first step toward figuring out how to deal with them effectively. The more clearly you see people, the more strategic you could be, the more clearly you see yourself without imposing this passing judgment on others, more free and positive you are. For some of the Enneagram types, this is very natural behavior. We will talk about that, especially for type 8 and 1. It comes naturally, which is not what are your dominant types here, but also bringing you here the perspective of the Enneagram. I will skip those types which are not yours. I will go directly to those that are more related to your personality types. So for instance, for type 3, Mana is type 3. The judgmental focus goes into the area of laziness and unproductiveness. So if you meet, for instance, people who are not doing as much as you do, and that they are not connecting their self-worth to the performance, you start judging automatically because they are not up to the achievement standards that you impose in front of you or for your own self, and it doesn't help your image to succeed. Again, you are running as you are running as fast as you can. No one can do as much as you do. So keep moving with your tasks, with your targets, with your ambitions. Don't pay much of the attention to those people who don't anyhow affect your result and your achievements. Let them go and do their own stuff and just mind your own performance. Stay focused on that and tick your boxes in order to achieve the success you deserve. For the type 4, we don't have Anna today with us. It's all about the mainstream, people who don't get you, and people that make you feel insignificant. This is something that many of you might sense in your profiles as well, the originality, authenticity. When we don't feel that people are natural with us, we start judging because they make us feel insignificant in a way we present ourselves, we speak, we interact, or the things we do. For type 5, we have several here. And then we said that we will talk with Tatiana about her last week experience, if she went out networking or not, without the specific objective for that. But mind that overly emotional or uninformed people who don't have as much knowledge as you might irritate you. And instead of being judgmental on this sense, you can start practicing sharing the knowledge you have and bringing some more substance into the relations, into the discussions you have. For type 6, Larissa is one of your type. Something relates to the unpredictable or irresponsible people, or those who are challenging and changing all the time, that breaks your sense of security. You might be disrupted by them, so just don't pay attention. Cut these kind of people you don't need, and then create the negative feelings and emotions with you, because they don't build trust that you are looking for. So in your career strategy, in your progress strategy, if you calculate and estimate the people in your environment that you don't feel insecurity with, that don't help you building trust, you don't need them. You don't need to react on them. You don't need to expect something from them. You just, you cut, you move on, and then it's done. Okay? They don't drain your energy because you don't have that much. Tanya, you raised the hand, you have the question.
Yeah, sorry, just a stupid question. If you come back to my type 5,
Yes.
You mentioned I should practice like sharing knowledge and everything, but doesn't sound like a bit passive aggressive. Meaning like if people don't want to go, like they don't want to learn, like understand or whatever, like it's kind of I'm forcing them to do that.
No, because when you run the conversation with someone, where you will be irritated if they don't know as much as you know, or they try to navigate the information that you obviously see they don't have so many experience and knowledge there, right? And that will kind of cut those people. You would not wish to run the conversations with them. But you remember that you are a wise person, that you have the wealth of knowledge. So instead of being irritated by their lack of knowledge, you might bring your own insight and saying, look, this is like this is because this, here is the facts, logics, telling interesting stories and educating them in a very natural and positive way, instead of rotating in your head the thought like they don't know enough.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then when you build this habit of sharing, you said, okay, so I come to the networking. and I don't know, industry networking. You know a lot about that specific professional area, and you know that there are plenty of people who come there just for, I don't know, networking, mingling, etc. So you're already entering the space, you already know that you will be irritated a lot, right? So you program yourself before entering to the space. You say, okay, I come here to learn, but also to share. If someone doesn't know something, I can share, not imposing the knowledge, but sharing, telling the interesting stories.
Okay, thank you.
And people will lean to you automatically. See, it's like for the type 6 also, the you don't sense trust, people disrupt you, you said, okay, fine. Mind your business, I'm minding mine. You don't spend energy, you don't spend time. And for type 7, for instance, you have difficulty to navigate conversations with negative, heavy, or restrictive people, those people who say no. Yeah? And you would like to turn your back and to leave and to do something else. The learning for you here is to start being present. And probably because probably they say no just because they sense their own insecurities, and you can help them creating this secured space with you. It's a good example, for instance, between 7 and 6 here. 6 could automatically say no because they need to validate, and 7s are automatically saying yes because whatever comes is the positive, new positive experience, right? So you can help each other to build this net win-win, right? But if you would be following automatically on who you are, you will miss this opportunity. Type 7 will react negatively on type 6 because they say no, they are restrictive for their own security reasons. And type 6 will not go into, I don't know, relations with type 7 because they are all about unstructured, positive way of thinking, and there is no security strategy and substance there. So, see, by reconsidering who are the people and why they are behaving in a specific way, you can build so many new positive relations without having negative connotation and judgmental focus to people you are speaking to. Okay, so for type 7, your way to release this judgmental attitude, and then again, I'm not saying that you are all judgmental, I'm saying that we are all judgmental. Yeah? This is the human nature. So staying type 7, staying present and see what's exactly that person is about and what does she or he wants to tell you. And also accepting pain is something that will help you to build this confidence. You're getting to the next level. If you don't put your foot into the cold water, you will never know the temperature of that water, and you will never get your body to that temperature. If you feel uncomfortable situation where you need to, I don't know, this is the step you need to overcome in order to progress. If you don't do that, you will not progress. You will be blocked, right? So sometimes we are pushing, one of my types is 7 as well. I'm pushing myself all the time to experience fully pain or negative situation in order to overcome, build my confidence on it, and never get back to that again. Okay. And then on this judgmental thing, I don't remember if some of you has a strong 8, but for instance, type 8, the powerful people, just a second, the powerful people, they're all about vulnerability, and they don't tolerate vulnerability. So if they see weak or undecisive people, they start judging that those people have no capacity to leverage them and to be in that space. So you need to understand that not everyone as strong as you are. Julia, you had the question.
No, it wasn't a question. It was like a asking about talking more about 8. I have 8 type, so
You have it. Voila. So
yes,
this
thank
cool.
you.
This is where we will start. So you see what I just mentioned. Do you see yourself there in type 8 in terms of judging people who are obviously weaker in terms of energy and character than you are?
Sometimes when I have time, I think. When I have no time, it doesn't matter.
Because
Yeah,
you don't have time for weak people, right?
I don't have time to judge.
This is already the good learning.
Yes.
Be mindful about your 8. There is a lot of power, energy, and character there. That's why 8 is called powerful person. These 8 are literally, so again, if we make the link between 7 and 8, for 7s it will be difficult to communicate with you because you are heavy, because there is so much of power in you, right? You are too much. And it doesn't mean that you are too much, but for some people you will be too much. So either you stay enough for you and too much for other people, but you acknowledge that and you live with that. Or again, to improve and to move on, you said, okay, I'm enough, I'm who I am, but probably I'm heavy, too decisive, and not tolerating vulnerable people, and I can become a little bit milder and soften towards others to build the meaningful relations that would help me. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I'm really sweet with people first, but after that, yeah, I could be some kind of heavy for another person. Yeah.
You remember we spoke in the very beginning the difference between emotional intelligence and emotional agility. Emotional intelligence is when you understand that you are heavy. Emotional agility is when you manage that and other people don't see that.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a learning. You can
Yes.
learn.
It's easy when you meet someone for the very first time, but afterwards it's not really easy.
No, it's not. But then you understand that you need, especially in this environment, in order to succeed, you need other people. And I'm not saying this is the disadvantage or the negative character you have. I'm 8 as well. I'm 3, 7, and 8 as the types, and I know I'm too much, and I know that many people cannot handle me because plus I did my emotional intelligence and emotional agility already. So the confidence is there, but people cannot handle this. And if I know that I have specific objective, that particular person can help me reaching that objective, I become softer. I pretend I'm humble and modest, and then I can come home and 10 times being not humble and modest, and I'm not. But in that particular conversations and relations, I am. And I know that I've been, actually, Enneagram helped me understand that. I used to say before I started teaching Enneagram, I always used to say that I cannot tolerate laziness. And I cannot tolerate irresponsible behavior. I become mad when someone is not is weak, lazy, and not delivering. It just disrupts me so much. But then actually and then judging, obviously. But then you see, for instance, in my practical example on 3 and 8, person doesn't want to do, not capable, right? And cannot decide on something. Sometimes I'm saying that's why I'm not a coach and never been the coach. I'm Enneagram trainer and instructor. I've never been the coach because if the change is not happening, I'm gone. I'm not interested anymore. Sometimes for some relations, and you all have some part of 8 in your profiles, in some relations, we as type 7, we should stay present and we should accept the vulnerability as the strengths, and we should be softer to other people because not everyone is good as you are. and they have other objectives and they do other things. But in your progression, in your career, in your job strategy, they might be the door opener for you. But if they don't like you and you're judging them for being not as good as you are, instead of seeing how you can create synergies, it will not help you. And you will have the negative connotations, the negative emotions, as the judgment, just because this is who you are and this is how you like to lead. You can be who you are, you stay who you are, but in the terms of building network relations and reaching your objectives, the emotional agility is the key thing to change and to boost confidence and to reduce toxic thoughts and toxic people and toxic actions. Okay, we're good here?
Yeah, I desperately need Botox because when I'm down, when I'm okay, yeah, my face it speaks without words, you know. So yeah, it's difficult.
Absolutely. I can enter the room and people see when I'm happy, when I'm not. Like I don't even need to open the mouth. And even if I would I would freeze my face in terms of energy, it will be obviously there. It's a type 8 thing. You either manage it and build more points to succeed, or you stay who you are and embrace that. It's up to you to decide.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think we have 9. So I will go with you towards the next one, the next habit that we will be talking about. And then again, think about that after the session. Think about how much of yourself you see there. This is the verbal habit that I would like you to practice and to reduce, starting with no, but, or however. No, I already tried it that way and I saw it didn't work. But what if that information is not correct? However, one thing you forgot to say was, when you start the conversation with no, but, however, you habitually use negative qualifiers to start the sentences during meetings, interviews, or the messages you're exchanging. Imagine you're applying for the job, and in your motivational letter or supporting email, count how many times did you use no, but, or however. Review that message, change it. Even when you are sending these WhatsApp messages to people that you value in your circle, and always be cautious about how much of these negative qualifiers you use, because you might simply try to emphasize on the importance of something, but they will read it as the negative thing. And by starting with a negative qualifier, it directly leads to the verbal contradiction of what someone is saying. People put the block between you and themselves as soon as they hear these negative qualifiers. It doesn't help. And imagine, in terms of the effect on your sense of self-confidence, imagine you come somewhere to the meeting. Imagine you're in the interview and there is an HR or decision maker, or type 8 normally sits as the final decision maker, who cannot control the power and the heavy energy, and start talking to you, but no, but no, but tell me something else. However, I believe that this is not the experience you have. How would you feel on that interview? Obviously, it will erode your confidence and what you wanted to say and how you wanted to position yourself. So imagine when you come across with negative qualifiers, it operates as verbal tics. We all have them. Habits of speech you might not be even aware of. You just use that. So after this session, be mindful in whatever you are writing and saying. Count how many no's, buts, or whoever's you are using. and just reduce it significantly, because that will open up all the positive and kind gestures you want to use in your language while building the communication and conversation with other people. Very good here? Larissa, yes.
So yeah, I find this recommendation is really, really brilliant. So if I understood you right, so you recommend us to replace no to the, for example, and then we could, yeah, but for I don't know, we can change with on my opinion, we could do in other way.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe be more proactive,
Mm-hmm.
but just because yeah, really the no, but however sounds like it's blocked. The door is closed.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're trying to rephrase and rethink what we are going to say proactively, then demands other words like, and for example, I don't know, and with this, our other steps could be like this, and just suggest a couple of options.
What if?
What if, yeah.
You need, with that, when you run the conversation in different situations, think how you keep the door open. Can make you one of my examples when I run the meetings with my team. Well, literally the decision is made in my head, right? And when someone is saying, and I want to, immediately my type 8 want to say, no, let's, well, sometimes I do that just to, you know, when we're under the pressure or there is no other solution and we need to cut the tail, I said, okay, no, this is, we are not going to do, let's move to the next one. But this is the specific situation. What normally I do, if I have in my head no already, I don't say no, I say, what do you think? Okay, and that person has the possibility to come, if he or she believes that this is the right way to go, can come with additional arguments that make me listen, instead of just closing the door and that's it. So depends on the type of conversation and level of people you are dealing with. Negative qualifiers could be changed into something more positive that keeps the door open. This is the objective. And you are this nice, positive person that keeps the door open, confident, not blocking, not cutting, and you keep the ball running. Make sense?
Yeah, sounds great.
Fantastic. Then let's go to the third one. And this, we also, all of us, we do it on a daily basis in many different aspects. And I ask you not to do that. People usually use two types of excuses. Blunt and subtle. What's the difference? The blunt are like rough and subtle are elegant, if you like. So the blunt excuses are and kind of my dog ate my homework. Okay. Or sorry, I was late. My babysitter's car broke down. Sorry, I missed the meeting. My Google Calendar didn't work. I didn't have invitation in my calendar. It didn't come. 10 people received, I didn't receive. I don't know where it is. It's not in my calendar. So the problem with these blunt excuses is they are in ineffective way of positioning yourself as the leader, as someone who others can look and trust. Why? Because you actually try to impose and talk about something that is not directly related to you. You impose your fault or excuse on someone else who is not related to you, and it looks like childish. So our brain is looking for the way to be nice and to say sorry, apologies, whatever. But then, especially under the stress, the way the words we take into that excuse, sometimes it's like people are looking at you and saying, seriously, you cannot be the senior leader here if you are using and apologizing this way for these kind of things. The subtle excuses is more elegant. That are those you use to attribute to some character flaws, if you like. I'll make you the example. I've always been disorganized. I don't keep my mouth shut. I'm easy to hurt. I'm way too people-pleasing. What else? I am who I am. I was always talking too much, right? So when you think, and when even, I don't know, when you start the message, the WhatsApp direct or email, like apologies for my belated reply. But well, 2 weeks after, apologies for your belated reply, it's fine. But where you've been during 2 weeks that you, if the message was important for you, that you could not reply, right? Think about, while you're doing this, think about what other persons think about your leadership and personal capacity. So if there is no excuse for you to make, and you took too much of time to reply to that email, but just to reply to this email, but don't create the story of apologies of whatever happens, the house was burning, right? Just go straight to the point and build a conversation. Don't enter the interview while opening the door and saying, oh, I'm sorry, I've been 5 minutes late. But if the interview is important, make sure that you come in time, instead of sitting there and then just apologizing for, I always been late. Well, you probably before in Ukraine always been late, but here in Switzerland, your late is being 5 minutes in advance, not 5 minutes later than the meeting start, right? So think on how often, where exactly, and how exactly you're apologizing. Review that, cut, and don't do that again. Either you take the full responsibility of what you did and you said this, or you avoid doing the mistakes or running the situations where you have to apologize. Or when it's too late and it speculates your reputation, you just don't do apologize, and you, with all the confidence, you go straight to the discussion point. Okay, but don't create these crazy stories about dog eaten. It's someone we know was last week was very important meeting, and he was telling me the stories of traffic jam each time, which became longer and longer and longer. So each time coming to the meetings, it took him longer than previously. And I was like, yeah, but you can take the train, and in Switzerland it runs specifically on the every second it stays in the calendar, right? So I don't want to listen to the apologies of being late for something that you could not be late, right? So don't do that. Just come and say, okay, here I am, or come in time, or don't start the messages, emails with apologizing, apologizing for everything, for whatever. Sorry for writing. Sorry, this I like a lot. Sorry for writing you this message. Sorry for writing you too late at this point of time with this level of details, but don't do that. Why do you still do that? In order to apologize for that. Don't do that. So you don't have to apologize. Okay? Then when we put this into the Enneagram perspective, also wanted to show you something from the psychology side. What do we do with apologizing? We create the self-defeat excuse. So we did something, we failed, obviously, and then we try to create this self-defense phrase or the attitude saying, why did we do this? So again, either don't do that or try not to do that, but don't create this silly self-defense excuses. And if you talk about the different Enneagram types, also to make you some examples on that type, we don't have type 1. Probably I will skip that quickly and go into who we are. And then if you want to learn something more about other type that I didn't mention before, you ask me. So for type 3, for instance, those of you who have strong type 3, there was not my intention. This is the self-defeat excuse. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, but it happened already. So you did, right? So you try to avoid failure or public disapproval, but if I understand that was not your intention, or someone else understand it was not your intention, but you did it already. So take the full responsibility instead of creating the self-defeat excuse of why you didn't intend. Right? We don't want to listen that. We want to listen what is going, how you're going to change that and how you're going to move on, right? No one will be listening to why exactly you did it. Everyone will be listening of what next. Okay, you did it. What do we do about that, right? Then type 4, I'm sorry, I'm too much. This is quite quite often they use this self-defeat excuse. You cannot be apologizing for who you are. You are who you are. And then you see, for those of you who have strong type 4, you are who you are. So what's the point to apologize for that? And plus, for type 4, the original person being authentic you is one of the core values. You are contradicting your own self. You should embrace the beauty of your character and the originality and the integrity of your character instead of apologizing. Just each time for type 4, or those of you who have strong type 4 representation, each time you see that you want to open your mouth and to apologize for who you are, just I don't know, cut yourself somewhere, close the mouth, and just don't do that, because you are undermining your confidence big time, because you are cutting who you are. For type 5, for instance, one of the often examples I can make, and then you can create your own ones from your own experience. I'm sorry I disappeared. I'm sorry I didn't reply. I'm sorry it took me too long to reply. I'm sorry I didn't appear. Here, in terms of self-defeat, we are working on fear of being drained or too much emotionally exposed. Type 5 don't like spend too much of energy on unnecessary things and unnecessary people. Be mindful about that. Some people would like to have you around, right? So you disappeared, say that, look, what you were up to, what you were busy with, but don't say that I just disappeared, live with that, and here I'm back. And if you minimize your circle and define only those people who enrich you, your knowledge, your energy, your lifestyle, that will not be anymore the energy draining exercise. You will learn by, again, sharing and spending time with limited number of people. You will be learning on how they're enriching your experience and how they bring you energy, instead of thinking that they're draining your energy. Okay. Then on type 6, I'm sorry for asking too many questions. This is something they like to say because normally those people are very well thought and structured. Try to think in terms of, again, self-confidence. What builds on your security? What is important for you? What disrupts you from feeling unsecured with other people and with different situations? Build your fortress of security, of those things that make you comfortable, and live with that. If you enter into an uncomfortable situation, unsecured situation, with those people you don't trust, don't enter there. This is not your space. But then don't create excuses in the ambience where you don't belong, because you are undermining your presence and your confidence. Just either you should be there or not. If this is unsecured space for you, you will never be comfortable there. So you are not comfortable, and plus on top of that, you create the self-defeat excuse or behavior that doesn't help you to look confident in that ambience. Just define who is important for you, where you want to be, where you don't. And that relates also to the number of, I don't know, activities and exercises you are doing and the number of people you are creating. Remember, your thing is the strategic networking. Your thing is actually how you surround yourself with those people who you feel secured with and who help you grow. You don't need 100, you need 10 maximum. And then again, within that security base, you start learning how not to apologize for being who you are, for asking as many questions as you believe is necessary, and being just you. Okay. For the type 7, as some of you, can we move on? Can we hurry up? Can we go to the next thing? Can we turn the page? You need to, in order not to apologize for many different things, you need to actually learn on how to stay present and accountable for different things. Okay? And not to escape, not to turn the page, not to move on quickly to other things. Not everyone is moving as quick as you are. So what you do, you apologize for being bored. And because you need to move faster. And some people cannot. And they believe that you are dropping them off and you are not accountable. So you need to slow down and to be a little bit more present in what you are doing, so they have enough of time to trust you and to gain your trust as well. And for type 8, this is how I am. I am who I am. Accept this. Sorry. This is who I am. Always been like that. 40 years old. You take it or not? What if not? Okay. What if not? You block the connection immediately because you remember you're heavy for the good and bad reasons. Type 8 is heavy. So I am who I am. You imagine you have HR in front of you, who is most probably type 9 or 2, very harmonic, very balanced, don't like to be disrupted by anyone. And this here is type 8 coming. Julia is coming and saying, look, by the way, you need to be strong and energetic and powerful enough to fit me, because otherwise I am who I am. You take it or not. And would be better if you give me this job. It's not going to be like that. Okay. So think how you reduce the verbatism, negative qualifiers, language and presence in terms of emotional agility. So again, you keep the door open, you don't block the connection, and you become a little bit more softer. So then you don't need to apologize for being who you are. Okay, if you're becoming more accepted by others and more inclusive, if you like. Okay. Do we have any questions here on the excuses and self-defeat mechanisms?
If I can add something, it sounded more for me like you're the type 8, yes, and you tell everything of this from the perspective of type 8. Why it sounded like that? I have an experience here in Switzerland when we arrived and I started to learn French. Obviously, it was awful. But every time I entered some governmental space, I started from the phrase. When I started from the phrase, "Sorry for my French, I'm learning, so please be softer." Everyone was melted, absolutely, and started to speak slowly, started to help me and other stuff. So this action opened actually a lot of doors for me. So sometimes excuses work, but it was another case. And maybe there is a point from which these excuses can be a good thing. Not only for a powerful person, but from other perspectives. Are there or not?
Yes, of course. And the example you made, well, Switzerland is particularly in terms of cross-cultural communication. Here you need to say excuse-moi and merci everywhere. It's like when we don't do this negative qualifiers, instead of, if you don't know how to find something instead of but, however, and no, you say excuse-moi and merci, danke, always. I like making this example in the public transport in Switzerland. Imagine someone step on your foot. Who is apologizing? You. The first one. And then the whole conversation starts. But this is the cultural thing. The whole conversation starts. No, excuse-moi, no c'est moi, no c'est moi, no c'est moi, no c'est moi, no c'est moi. And then you 5 minutes, you are pulling this, getting the ball from one side to another with excuse-moi or merci. This is the French, is the same thing, but probably French countries. This is the cultural thing. Right? And when you said, sorry, I'm learning French, and they were melting and helping you, absolutely. Right? Because you approach them and show that you are, you do your best for the social integration to build the relations with them. Probably not necessarily a word sorry in that phrase should be used, right? Then you think about the context. But like over apologizing for self-defeat for doing something who you are and making it in the subtle or blunt way is not necessarily, because you put yourself immediately into the weak position. And yes, you can say that this is, I say this from the perspective of type 8, but we are on the self-confidence session here. When you remain being modest and humble, but if you want to move on and unstuck, you need to mobilize yourself a little bit stronger. And when you open the door, imagine you are you need to run the presentation. You need to run the pitch on who you are in the interview. And you start this interview like, sorry, my name is Irina. I'm not saying this is your particular case, right? I'm just making the silly example. I'm Irina, well, let me say, I'm Ina, I'm Ukrainian. You lose the energy and the certain perceived respect, just because of the simple habit that you can very easily eliminate and stop using sorry, apologies everywhere.
Okay, thank you very much.
Does it make sense?
Absolutely.
And more you have on the type 3, which is very interesting on type 3. Himana can say something on that. Is that like type 3 would easily navigate where sorry is necessary and where it's not, because by using, as you said, they were melting, by using specific words, languages, and phrases, help them to achieve the goals. They're very manipulative in communication. For them, it's very easy to decode where to push more or where to pull back. Jimena, does it make sense?
Yeah. Like in my case, yeah, sometimes it's like I feel like kind of a lot of guilt while I don't know if it applies exactly in type 3, but yeah, like when there's something that did not perform. So I struggle. I think it has to do because like you I think as a type 3, correct me if I'm wrong, but you struggle a lot with like not achieving. So this
Yes.
kind of big guilt and then like trying to avoid the so yeah, totally.
Yeah, because if you didn't achieve, you didn't tick your box. You have in your head, you have the path,
Yeah.
the vertical one, on how you are reaching the bigger ambition, right? And
Yes.
then if it's like the chess play, and if one move inside didn't succeed you to do this Schach and mat in the end, right?
Yeah.
You feel that because you are running the game, you feel that you're guilty and you feel that that was your fault.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that many times. Like,
And it's not, there are many things that influence that. And then more you will be growing on the leadership capacity as well, on managing teams and people, you will see that there are many things that are constructed by a team. It's not only your thing, right? But then if you keep this self-defeat habit on feeling sorry and guilty for not achieving that, it will make your life very difficult, because when you will grow up in the leadership position and working in the bigger teams, you are not alone. There will be people who will be working not up to your standards. And if you start imposing on you and make excuses for everything that other people did that didn't help you to achieve your goal, you will burn out.
yeah, I had that situations exactly previously. Because yeah, you like feel all the responsibility even if the team is not achieving. So and feeling like a lot of guilt. So yeah. Thanks for the advice and insight. Totally helpful to consider for the future situations.
Yeah, we're here for that. Okay, let's go to the next one. The fourth, expecting other people to notice my achievements, what I did. They have to give you your attention, their attention. Expecting others to notice your contributions or believing that they should is not only a good way to keep yourself stuck, it can also diminish the satisfaction you feel in your job and in your life. Can you bring more gratitude to your own achievements? Can you, I don't know, start making your own appreciation and your own gifts for what you achieved and loving yourself more? Because you can, like, if you all the time expect other people to notice your achievements, you significantly rely on them in terms of feeling this sense of appreciation and gratitude and achievement and confidence what you reached by this life stage. In the end, if people around you are not capable of noticing your efforts, maybe you should be somewhere else. Maybe you should have different people next to you. Right? This relates to job. This relates to personal life. when you lose the attraction, appreciation, and the sense of belonging. You have to be that person who notice first the achievements you made. You should be that person who express the gratitude to your own self. You should be that person that makes yourself important. No one else will do as much as you can do this for your own self. Okay? And then we'll show you something. Doesn't relate to all the types, and probably those types who are not marked with big numbers could help us understand better on how we should not be dependent on appreciation of others. But for instance, for type 8, 9, 2, 3, and 4, this is something that sits on the level of your values and core behaviors. These are the types 8, 9, 2, 3, and 4 that are most dependent on the opinions of others. Okay, I'll explain you why. For type 2, the confidence is built by being needed and belonging to certain circles. For type 3, again, Jimena, you can say, if I'm not admired, I'm worthless. And for you, for type 3, the being loved and appreciated is the core value. This is something that sits in your who you are. So if you don't receive this appreciation from others, it diminishes your self-confidence significantly. You need to learn to appreciate your own self without dependency on other people. Okay. For type 4, you believe that people should notice your uniqueness, or otherwise you perceive that you don't matter. And this is not true. That's why I'm pushing so much type 4s always into inner perspective and finding and closing and creating more individual space and appreciation your own beauty and creativity inside of you. For type 8, you think that other people should notice your energy and power. This is where normally in the unhealthy type 8, when you are not in the resource or low resourceful side, this is where some people could sense a little bit or much of, it depends, on arrogance and negative power. It doesn't help because it brings you to the spectrum of negative emotions and cut the relations. And for type 9, it's obviously to be included without demanding too much of space. One are living to their own standards, to their own quality measures. They don't need others to tell them on how much the worth is. For type 7, actually, you live in joyful relations with your own self. You don't care what other people think about you. And for type 6 and 5, you have very limited number of people. So you literally don't depend on them in terms of what they think and how they much appreciate what you do. You have very strong capacity to find that from your own knowledge, experience, and joy. Okay. So I would say here, for instance, for type 8 and 3, watch out on how much you are dependent on the opinions on others, because you need to build your own confidence from who you are, from your own achievements, and not waiting for other people to notice that and to tell you about that. Would you like anyone to say something here? Because I don't see the whole screen. No, we're good. Can live with that. Okay. And then two things quickly also, please make the note about that. Overvaluing your experience, trying to master every detail of your job in order to become an expert is great. to keep the strategy of the job you have on the life standards you have. But if your goal to move to the higher level, your expertise is probably not going to be where it used to be before. You need to get new knowledge, new experience, and you need to position yourself into the job you want to get, not into the job in which you've been before. Okay? So this feels proactive positioning into your future job. Don't try to build more and more and more things on what you know already. See what you don't know. See where you can extend yourself. See what is the alternative strategy to your professional route. What is the different road you can take? Is that road full of knowledge and confidence, or there are gaps that you should to build? Try to, again, understand where is the value of the past expertise, professional expertise, and when is the next position you are taking and what is missing there. And try to build the value on the new thing, not on the past one. Are we clear here, or I confused you? No? We are okay? I'm trying to be as precise in the action steps and articulation. And related to that, before we start discussing, the last but not least, and we've been talking about that numerous times during the programs. The job is the job. Career is a very different thing. When you will be looking again into your career strategy and everything we learn together before our last session on Wednesday, I want you to do the evaluation of what is the job and not to aim at landing into the next job. I want you to build your next career and to position yourself into the place where you want to be, but where you are not forced to be. Because there is a very different energy there. There is a long-term success strategy there. You are not just filling the gap. I understand there is a matter of insecurities and doing something urgently, but you can make the significant mistake of just accepting the next job. I want you to build the next career and to bring the value into something where you are going next. Okay? With impact, with mission, which is something that is completely aligned to who you are, where you don't need to make any excuses for being who you are, and to live freely with confidence and build your next career path. So what I would like you to do now, after that, I put 6 things on the screen, and I will ask you to think during 5 minutes on your own reflection and to rank these habits, unhealthy confidence-breaking habits. In your own example, what is the strongest one that you have to start working on today, right after this session, to the lightest one that you can live with, right? So where do you see yourself the most? What is something that breaks your confidence the most that you will start working on immediately? And what is the last one that you can let go, live with that? And let's discuss. Okay? 5 minutes, 4 to think, and 3:45 we will discuss.